just gonna hand out some brochures and listen to this song while we do it. It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. She's here, you can take away. Hot air balloon like a ghost dance. With the air, like I don't care, baby, about the rain. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. If you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. If you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. If you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. If you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Give me all you got, don't hold back. I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. Your friends say you don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. If you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. If you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. If you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. If you feel like that's just a cute video.
If that doesn't make you happy, then I don't know what will.
Yeah. Okay, so did you know that according to the National Down Syndrome Society, 1 in 691 babies in the U.S. are born with Down syndrome, which makes it the most common genetic condition. So,
Alright, this is a completely new and unique idea. What we're doing is a living and learning community for adults with Down syndrome. This is because they have they take longer to learn the same things that you and I would take just a few years to do. With this opportunity, they would be able to live, learn, and eventually work in the real world. There are some that are able to do this, but not as many as we would hope to do so.
So first, we're just going to give you a little background of what Down syndrome is. Down syndrome is named after the English Dr. John Winton Down, who discovered Down syndrome. Down syndrome is a genetic disorder where a person has 3 copies of chromosome 21 instead of 2. They actually don't know what causes Down syndrome, but they know that it happens in the process called non-disjunction. And it's kind of really hard to explain in words, so we found this really cool video that literally shows what happens with our cells, what made us who we are, and then it shows us an example of what actually happens to create the Down syndrome cell also. So this would be like our division of our cells. So that's what it would look like correctly. And then this is the process for what it would look like if you had a baby with Down syndrome. So as you can see here, this is the chromosome that got copied over instead of going with its yellow marker. And it's just crazy to think how one little thing like that could go wrong and change so many things and have so many different side effects.
Okay, now that you know what Down syndrome is, it is very complex, so different people will have different problems throughout their life. Some common physical features of people with Down syndrome are decreased muscle tone, short neck, flattened facial features, small head, ears. Some intellectual and developmental symptoms are short attention span, poor judgment, they have impulsive behavior, they have slower learning and delayed language and speech. People with Down syndrome are actually have a higher expectancy of living longer now, so learning potential can be maximized through encouragement and expectations, education.
Because actually it used to be like, I don't know, probably like 20 years ago, the lifespan for a person with Down syndrome was 30 years, 25, 35, and now it's 60, so that was just a huge leap. And so this is why this is really important because, why we're doing this, just because they're slower in development and doesn't mean they don't deserve a chance to live a normal, independent lifestyle. And so, because of that, when a student with Down syndrome goes to high school, they can go to high school until they're 21 years old. And so that's why they're super seniors, what we want to call. And so after they turn 21, they cannot go to high school anymore. And it's usually the parents kind of don't know what's next because they still need help every day, but they still need to go out and get jobs and learn. So that's why we're building a learning and living community for adults with Down syndrome. A big thing for parents that I talk to a lot is they would need a plan of future because their children, they know will need help for the rest of their lives and they know they won't be there forever. And so this is a great thing because when parents do get older and cannot help their children as much, they can take them to this wonderful community that will help them learn new things and to learn to be independent. They will have their own apartment. They may live with other people, but they will still have staff and helpers there constantly. I would love to work here. I think that would be just the greatest thing ever to work there. One of the big things that we're doing here is that they will not only learn to live independently, they'll also learn how to control their money because we will set up jobs for them. We will help them learn how to do jobs and we'll help them succeed even more and get them higher into the job market. And the money that they make will go straight back into the program to pay for their rent and food and stuff. So really, parents will have to pay money for their children to stay here, but the children, well, adults now will also have to work to live there as well. And what this video is I probably talk about it a lot because it's my life. I was part of the first ever cheerleading squad for students with disabilities, the Spartan Sparkles. Totally changed my life. And this is a video of, I was a freshman. You can barely see me in this video also because it's really blurry. But this is just one reason why children and adults with Down syndrome and other disabilities need to be included and have inclusion because if they are just left at home for the rest of their lives, they're not going to be as sociable and they won't be better in the job market. So this is why inclusion is really, really important, and I'll probably cry while watching this video. I did today.
Ignore this a lot.
Our next People Magazine hero story is one of the sweetest we've heard all year. Meet Bettendorf, Iowa's own Spartan Sparkle. At Iowa's Pleasant Valley High School, they're cheering for more than school spirit. They're cheering on the human spirit. And Corinne's mom. 3 years ago, if someone spoke to her, her head would be down, no eye contact.
And now you can see these girls when they walk in that uniform, they are standing up straight, their chins are up.
Karen and 9 friends are the stars of the Spartan Sparkles cheerleading squad.
Sparkles means a lot to me. It makes me feel happy, excited, in a cheerleader way. Go Spartans!
The Sparkles are age 8 to 15, all born with a range of developmental disabilities, from autism to Down syndrome. The girls were invited to join a new squad, the first of its kind at a high school.
Cheerleading is really a great way to integrate special needs because you can really modify the skill levels and you can also build easily step by step.
Now girls who would otherwise be on the sidelines had people cheering them on. Parents say their daughters who were once isolated and withdrawn are now blossoming, making friendships and finding self-confidence.
I like this, having some friends. I came into this thinking that I would be the one teaching them, and I think they're the ones that are teaching me.
They have given them the opportunity to be who they are and have the community and everyone accept them. And it's not disability, it's ability, it's what they can do.
Welcome to Spartan Sparkles from Bettendorf, Iowa. Thanks, everybody. That's great. All right, where are the 2 Sarahs? Sarah and Sarah. That is great. The 2 Sarahs. They call you the 2 Sarahs, right? It's catchy. It's catchy. Sarah Kronk and Sarah Hare created the Sparkles. And how did you come up with this?
Well, after volunteering at the Special Olympics, I came to my coach with the idea, and because I wanted to make the connection with the special needs community more permanent, and it all just really snowballed from there.
I loved how you said on the tape that you've actually, because this always happens when you end up giving to somebody else, you think you're doing it for them, and then you realize that you're getting more out of it. Is that what's happened to you?
Well, I mean, I expected that we would all become friends. What I really didn't realize is that we would all become family. And I really think that's because we've all learned to see the person and not the disability. And it's really given all of us a powerful voice. We've learned that even though we're teenagers, we can really make things happen.
I love that! Greg is Katie's dad. Greg is Katie's dad. And Katie has autism, and I hear you were skeptical at first. Why?
When you have a special needs kid, you're told what they can't do. But what these guys did is said, these girls need to be out in front of everybody else, with everybody else. If they put in the work, they deserve the accolade.
Thank you, Greg. Dawn is Corin's mom, and I hear Corin just had her best report card ever. Stand up.
Yes, she did. We went to her conference a couple weeks ago, and her teachers told us that she has blossomed this year with confidence. She was one that would put her head down and her chin up, and she walks down the hall and actually does cheers down the hall and in the lunchroom. And what I want to say is thank you to these young ladies. They have changed our daughters' lives and given them a wonderful gift.
Are you all mothers? I know you all must be mothers because, okay, get a shot of this back row here, Joe. I know these had to be mothers because during the tape, this entire row was crying. So after practice the other day, one of the Spartan Sparkles' biggest heroes popped in on them. Take a look at what happened after practice.
Hey, Sparkles! Surprise, it's me, Miley Cyrus. I heard all about you guys and your awesome cheer squad. You guys are amazing. You guys are heroes. You guys are awesome. I would love to have you all as VIP guests at my show in Indianapolis. You guys are so awesome, and I just want to thank you personally for all the good that you have done. So I hope to see you at my show.
So the Sparkles packed up their pom-poms and headed to Indianapolis, where they got the full Miley treatment.
I'm really excited to meet them. I've heard about them.
hung out backstage with the Sparkles for some pre-show fun.
Pop it, lock it, polka dot it, country find it, hip hop it, put your hop in side to side, stop to the left, stick it, glide. Everybody on your feet. I have all your guys' tickets for the show. It'll be really fun. At the very end for the climb, do you guys like the song The Climb? I would love to have everyone, the entire squad, come up and sing along with me on The Climb.
Then it was showtime.
I want to bring out some new friends that I made today. They're called Sparkles and they're a cheerleading squad. These girls are heroes to me.
Thank you. What a brilliant idea. I hope that other young ladies around the country will hear what you've done and be inspired by your heroism. We'll be right back. That's fantastic.
The really emotional thing right now is that this was 4 years ago, and it's crazy to look back on these girls. And even there, that was Hannah. She would cry every day, even if it was happy or sad. She just cried constantly. And now she's in high school, and she's doing so great. And then Corinne, she's my best friend in the whole world. It was just her birthday. She just turned 18, and she's going to graduate high school this year, but still go back to high school. And it's just crazy to think how much they have improved and how sociable they are and how just amazing they've grown. And I've always worked with students, and I'd love to, and why this is so important is that can't just forget about the cute little kids. We gotta help the adults too, and we gotta make programs and organizations to help adults as well, because they're still learning and growing, and they want to be involved and be in the community and working like us.
Right, like I said, this is a completely unique idea. There's nothing else like it. There's programs focused on children, but never the adults. They really don't know what to do since they still have learning that should happen, and they can have jobs like the rest of us, and they can be productive in the workforce. And what we want is for them is a fully sustainable living and learning community where they can take classes to learn valuable job, how to do jobs and stuff like that. And also they would be able to live on their own and learn how to be independent in a safe environment, where there would be on-call services just in case if they need help or anything like that. We want a place where the parents will be able to trust their kids are safe. Also, we think it should be important that they get jobs while they're in the environment, so they can learn abilities and then eventually be able to move out further with transportation systems that can take them to the cities and let them work in the regular community. Okay, so it's a little blurry. Yeah, it's a little blurry. It's like our logo for Down Syndrome Living Learning Communities. Step into your future. Okay, so it's going to cost a lot of money to get this. It's about $26 million to get it up and running, building costs. If you check your pamphlets on the side with the piggy bank at the top, it's got the budget breakdown on what it would cost for the building costs, the land. I chose a 3-acre spot here in Cedar Falls just to make it.
I'm sorry, I don't
like,
laugh on that. That's my bad. I just screwed up and I was trying to explain it. I should have just shut up as well.
I just think it would be like, if it would be, yeah. Really confused.
38 cents. I chuckled at the 38 cents.
Yeah, it's because that's
And
from
I feel so bad right now.
That's from the land
Inside my own
cost.
voice.
That's from the actual land cost, not just the rounding for the other stuff. The land is a solid. I actually chose a solid piece of land that was here in Cedar Falls. We wanted to go close because it should be something that you could actually do. So the land cost would be here in Cedar Falls, and then eventually you could have it blossom out into the state and to the other cities of the United States, and eventually probably the whole world, because it isn't just a local or United States problem. It's all over the world, and everyone should get a chance to do this. Also, there would be assisted living, which is kind of like, you know, how older people have their own apartments because they want to be sustained up by themselves, but also have just in case that someone to be there for them. And a school building. Also, there would be a gym and wellness center, pool, etc., transportation, minibuses, etc. It's important for them to be able to have all of the amenities of a regular place, and also staff to help them out just in case. Okay. Why would you give us the money to have this thing? It wouldn't cost you guys too much. It is going to be a nonprofit organization, and it would be help from the federal money. But if you do donate any money whatsoever, it would be a tax deduction from you guys. You would save money on your taxes every year.
Also, any amount of money helps because this is going to be a huge, huge project, and we're going to start low for sure. And how great would it be if this actually happened? Like, this would be such a beautiful thing.
Just to keep in mind that this is a really close to home thing that lots of us have to deal with, because 38% of Americans know someone with Down syndrome. And how many people in here know somebody with Down syndrome? Like, it's more than half the classroom. So it is a close to home situation. And over the next 20 years, there's supposed to be a significant increase of population with people with Down syndrome. So it's only growing. So that's just important to keep in mind.
And the next video we're going to show is basically kind of wraps everything together, because parents do want to have a backup and something like in the future planned for people with Down syndrome. It's kind of like a support, a crutch, something they can always fall back on. And it's basically just, they just need people to encourage them. They need a little bit of assistance, but they are able to do things on their own.
Don't be afraid. Tu niño podrá hacer muchas cosas.
Podrá marchar. Podrá correr hacia ti.
Il pourra parler et te dire qu'il t'aime.
Il pourra aller à l'école como todos.
Il pourra t'écrire si un jour elle est loin.
Because indeed, he'll be able to travel too.
Il pourra aider son père à réparer son vélo.
Podrá laborar y ganar su dinero.
Avec son salaire, il pourra t'inviter à dîner.
O affittare un appartamento e andare a vivere da solo.
A volte sarà difficile.
Bien plus tard.
Pas de possible. N'est-ce pas pareil pour toutes les mères?
Dear future mom.
Un figlio potrà essere felice. Come lo sono io.
Et tu seras heureuse aussi.
Vera mamma. Mamma.
may not seem like this is changing the world, but it's changing someone's world.